So I'm about to go take Briar and Cheetah out to fly. As long as the weather holds, there's a small chance it might rain. But either way, I thought that this might be a fun opportunity to kind of go over what like my pre-flight checklist is before we go out free flying. So whenever we go out free flying, there is a degree of preparation that goes into it, just to make sure that we keep the birds as safe as possible. So I just kind of thought I might share some of the things that we do just to make sure that we have a successful free flight. Now, all this being said, this is not any information on how to free fly. I am in no way encouraging you to take your bird outside if they're not properly trained. There are a lot more steps that go into free flying than just what you're going to see in this video. This is just a very, very, very small part of what we do to make sure that the birds remain safe. And also there's different ways people do different things. I'm simply sharing what I do in order to prepare to go free flying and the things that I take with. So if you have not been properly trained, if your birds are not properly trained, please do not take them outside unrestrained, especially not just based off of this video or anything like that. But I do just think it'd be kind of fun to share some of the things that we do to prepare. So yeah. So there's three main objects that I always take with me. I take a T-perch, I take my bag, which I'll go into what's inside of that in a second, and then of course we have a crate. Starting with the T-perch, this is just a natural branch. This is a T-perch I made. It's super helpful. I don't always use the T-perch, but I always bring it with me just in case I do choose to use it. There are certain areas and certain places I fly where I choose not to use it, or I don't want to, or the birds don't really want to use it, but I usually always have it in my van at least, just in case I choose to use it. Now, it's really important. These birds are extremely familiar with this T-perch. This is not a new object to them. This is nothing that is scary. This is something that they're very familiar with. We've done a ton of training with them on this T-perch, which is super important because if you bring a new object out while you're free flying and they're not used to it, that could spook them off, and you don't really want that. Alright, so in addition to the training perch, we also have my training bag, which has some cute little owls on it. Inside of here, I keep a wide variety of different reinforcers, different things that I use during our free flight sessions at different times, just to help make sure that we continue to have that good relationship with the birds. And having a variety of different reinforcers is super helpful because just like us, they go through different moods, they're interested in different things at different times. So I try hard to have just kind of like a set variety of objects that I always take with to have on hand in case they're feeling like they're in a different mood, or to have in case of different situations and things like that. So we'll go ahead and go into what's inside of here. So the first thing we have is we have a couple of clean bowls. I have this just so I can put some food, water, things like that while they're out free flying, just to kind of have on hand. Super helpful, just bowls. So obviously something that goes with clean bowls is going to be drinking water. So whenever we go free flying, I always bring a bottle of water when we go, both because the birds can get super thirsty while they're out free flying, and we want to make sure that they always have access to clean drinking water. So I always bring this with just to make sure. But in addition to giving them access to clean drinking water, the bottle itself also works as an amazing reinforcer. As you can see, Briar is already super interested. So there have been times where we're out free flying and I'll pull out this water bottle and they have no interest at all in drinking the actual water, and instead they want to chew on the lid like this. So they love to pull off the lids, they love to tear up this little plastic bit. I'm going to try and keep this because I'm hoping to go free flying after this. But they love to chew off the plastic lids. I will also oftentimes buy different brands of water bottles just to kind of create some novelty. So there's different brands that create different bottles. Oh no, he's going to tear off this lid before we have a chance to go free flying. And buying different brands can kind of create some different novelty for them. So some different ones I'll buy, like the core water bottles. I have the big blue tops, things like that. So that way it just kind of keeps a degree of novelty. But as you can see, he's very happy to just tear off the plastic lid of this. which he has a lot of fun with. So the other thing we have in here is a treat container. So this looks like a mint container, and that's because it is. What I did was I took all the mints out and I cleaned them out. I cleaned out the container really, really well. And what I put in here was treats. You can see they're already trying to get into it. They know exactly what's in here. Let's see if I can show you without getting robbed. But right now I have a variety of seeds in there. I do change it up because, again, their preferences change. They can be in the mood for different things at different times. So sometimes I have like a seed mixture in here. Other times I'll put a mixture of like walnuts or pine nuts or something like that in here, or nutriberries, a whole bunch of different things. I just kind of try and keep it novel, but right now it's a seed mixture that they very much want to get into, but I'm not gonna let them in. I also keep just a bag of refill to throw in there just in case, although usually I try and make sure that this is full before we leave. So one of the other things that I always bring with me is what's considered almost like a 911 reinforcer. So I try and bring something that the birds don't get very often that is going to be super, super interesting to them. This is a I need you back right now, something that's super, super novel to them, something that's going to get them really excited and make them want to recall very easily. So again, their preferences change, so the reinforcers will also change. But what we have right now is our 911 reinforcers. We just have some fruit. So I have an apple in here, I have a banana, both things that they really like. So, oops, he just got scared a little bit. So when they see that, they're gonna be super excited, they're gonna come down, and they're gonna wanna get that, because it's not something that they get all the time. So I usually only pull that out in cases of like, I really, really need you down very urgently, because again, I'm trying to keep that novelty for it. I don't want that to be something that they get access to all the time, so it'll essentially loses its excitement. Again, my reinforcers, or my 911 reinforcers, can change over time. Right now it's fruit, but there have been other times where it's baby bird formula or something else. But I just kind of try and keep it interesting for them, so that way they're always excited to come down and receive it. And again, this is something that's only offered every once in a while. And the last thing we have is we have toys. So again, their preferences change. Sometimes they're more excited about toys than they are food. So I always bring some toys just to help keep things interesting. You can see Briar's very excited to see these toys. He's gonna tear that up. But I always like to bring them with just to have as many tools in my toolbox that I can to keep their interest and bring with. So you can see they're having fun with that. What do you guys think? Alright, we're gonna put that back before you break it. So as a part of our routine, I want to make sure that they are willing to go flying. So we've done this enough times now that they know that when we kind of play this game or do certain things, they know that they're about to go free flying. So one of those things is we do some in and outs of their travel crate, just to make sure that they actually want to go free flying. If they're showing me behaviors where they're not interested in going into their crate, that's usually a sign that they don't want to go free flying. And I don't want to push them on that. I want to make sure that they actually want to go flying. And so we usually just go through this little routine a couple times to make sure that that's what they want. So it's as simple as, here, come on, bud. Oh, he hears the other birds in the back right now. But what we do, they go in. Yes, good job. Give them a reinforcer, and then they come back out. So, come on. So we just do this a couple times. We just practice going in and out. Go on. Good girl. Oh, I got off the perch, but that's okay. So you got your snack, Briar. So you can see she's already going in on her own a little bit. There you go. There you go. Go on the perch. Yes, good girl. So you can see that they do this with ease. They're not hesitant to go in the crate. But as you can see, this is something that they do very easily. They're not nervous about the crate. They're not scared to go into it. This is nothing new for them. They're very happy to go in there. Good girl, Cedar. Come on, over here. Good job for their reward. So they know the routine very well. And for me, this is one of the most important things about free flying. If I cannot get them into their crate easily, I do not want to take them out free flying. So it's as simple as that. All right, so we are out at our free flight park. I got my bag. I got the birds. I decided not to bring the T-Perch out here this time because this is a park that we fly at very often and I don't really use it. One thing that I forgot to mention, this isn't really anything you bring with, but just something that's important to do every time I go free flying is actually to check the weather. So right now it's beautiful, but when I was driving over here, it was looking a little cloudy. I checked the weather before we went. It says that there's a chance of rain later this afternoon, like closer to sunset, which will be long after we pack up and go. But it's important just to check and make sure that everything is looking good before you actually let them out so you don't actually get caught in a rainstorm. So that has happened before, which is not very fun. Anyways, things are looking good, so we're gonna go ahead and let the birds out to fly for a little bit. There's Briar, then there's the little bluebird. Start checking each other out. Who's good? Yes, good boy. Alright, we got a couple of small flights in. We've only been out here for like 20 minutes, but we're probably gonna pack up soon. The weather's looking a little gray and I don't want to accidentally get caught out in the rain, but they're doing awesome. They had lots of fun, so we're gonna go see about packing them up.